Suspect in that high school shooting in Chardon, Ohio on Monday, charged today with 3 counts of murder.
I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years. Order the Department of Corrections to notify you when you are eligible to apply for your review hearing.
Woman who stabbed her mother 79 times inside their home in Aurora, killing her, won a round in her bid for eventual freedom.
Killer sentenced. Another defendant learns his punishment for a Providence triple homicide. Russell Burrell is ordered to serve 6 life sentences.
The General Street apartment and shot the victims. He faces up to 6 consecutive life sentences.
The court Isabela ay ang matamis na pagsasama ng mag-ina ay napalitan ng puro away at sagutan. Ibinahagi rin ng kanyang itay na ang madalas na pinag-aawang pangyayari sa lugar ng Colorado, US. Kanyang biological father August 28, 2020, 18 years old pa lang noon si Isabela ay nagkaroon ng maliit na komusyon ng dalawa.
That evening, Isabela pistol to Chardon High School and started shooting in the cafeteria. Lane killed 3 students that day: Daniel Parmertor, Russell King Jr., and Demetrius Hewlin. He also injured 3 others. After the shooting, Lane ran away, but was caught by the police pretty quickly.
Serving 3 life sentences for the February 2012 murders of 3 students in Chardon High School, east of Cleveland. Witnesses said he just walked into the crowded cafeteria that morning and started shooting.
At first, people weren't sure why Lane did this. He wasn't known as a troublemaker and had no clear reasons for attacking his fellow students. This made the whole thing even more scary and confusing for the community. Lane was arrested and charged with 3 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of attempted aggravated murder, and 1 count of felonious assault. These are severe charges, especially for someone so young. The case went to court, and Lane pleaded guilty to all the charges. However, the court moved straight to sentencing, and this is where things got intense.
Geauga County Court of Common Pleas is now in session. The Honorable David L. Fury presiding.
Please be seated. This is the case of the State of Ohio against Thomas M. Lane, case 12C58. Here this morning, on behalf of the State of Ohio, is Prosecutor James Flays. Mr. Flays, could you please introduce your table?
Thank you, Your Honor.
On March 19, 2013, Lane showed up for his sentencing hearing. What he did that day shocked everyone. He entered the courtroom wearing a white t-shirt with the word "killer" written on it in black marker. It was incredibly disrespectful to the victims and their families.
Saying to pull the trigger that killed your son, your basic memory.
But Lane wasn't done. When he was given a chance to speak, he turned to the families of the victims and gave them the middle finger. Then he said something fierce. "The hand that pulled the trigger that killed your sons now masturbates to the memory. F*** all of you."
Suspect in that high school shooting in Chardon, Ohio on Monday was charged today with 3 counts of murder. We asked Michelle Miller to find out what she could about the suspect, TJ Lane. Michelle starts tonight with a march that the high school students held.
It's exceptional for someone to act this way at their sentencing, especially when they've committed such a severe crime. Lane showed no remorse at all for what he'd done. The judge sentenced Lane to 3 life sentences without the possibility of bail. It means he'll spend the rest of his life in prison.
In prison for killing an 81-year-old woman has been resentenced to life without parole. Moses, who was 17 at the time, entered the house of Dorothy Session on April 14, 2010, and hit her during a burglary, knocking her down.
David Moses was just 15 years old when he broke into the home of 81-year-old Roberta Howe in Indianapolis, Indiana, on October 28, 2016.
At the door, one suspect motions with a gun for his accomplice to kick it in. Little do they know that 12-year-old Edmundo Pena is...
Moses attacked Roberta Howe in her own home. He beat her badly and then shot her multiple times. After the attack, he stole her car and drove away. Roberta Howe died from her injuries. The police caught Moses. They found him driving Roberta Howe's stolen car. When they arrested him, they also found the gun he had used in the attack.
charged to the felony murder rule, which now says a person must actually commit or aid in a killing or have intent to kill. Now, at today's hearing, the defense hoped the judge would potentially reduce his sentence from life without the possibility of parole to 25 years to life. Instead, the judge resentenced him today after hearing from the victim's family members describing the profound impact her death has had on them.
Because of how serious the crime was, prosecutors decided to charge Moses as an adult, even though he was only 15. He faced charges of murder, burglary, theft, and carrying a handgun without a license. Moses was found guilty of all charges, and he was sentenced to 65 years in prison. This is a very long sentence, especially for someone who was only 15 when they committed the crime.
Tristan Bailey, I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years. I order the Department of Corrections to notify you when you are eligible to apply for your review hearing.
In May 2021, 13-year-old Tristan Bailey, a cheerleader from St. Johns County, Florida, was reported missing by her family. She was last seen on Mother's Day, May 9th. Later that day, her body was found in a wooded area near her home. Tristan had been brutally stabbed 114 times. Aiden Fucci, a 14-year-old classmate of Tristan, was quickly identified as a suspect. Surveillance footage showed Tristan and Aiden walking together around 1:45 a.m., and later, Aiden was seen running alone, carrying his shoes. When investigators searched Aiden's home, they found bloody clothes and a knife sheath in his room. The knife used in the murder was found near Tristan's body, with DNA evidence linking it to both Tristan and Aiden.
Accused of stabbing 13-year-old Tristan Bailey to death on Mother's Day in St. Johns County, Florida. Tristan's body was found on May 9th, less than half a month.
Aiden was arrested and initially charged with second-degree murder. However, due to the severity of the crime, the charge was upgraded to first-degree murder, and he was tried as an adult. During the investigation, it was revealed that Aiden had talked about wanting to kill someone, and had even planned the attack.
They went to school together at Patriot Oaks Academy. Both lived in an upper middle class neighborhood, pretty much had zero crime. But then we go to Mother's Day, May 9th, 2021, Bailey goes missing. Her mother reports her missing.
In February 2023, just before his trial began, Aiden changed his plea to guilty. This plea change shocked many, but it meant that Tristan's family wouldn't have to endure a lengthy trial. On March 24, 2023, Aiden Fucci was sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of parole.
About this, I know there's been some discussion there. I also know I'm going to read you something, a report from January 2020, a report from January 2022. It states, quote, Fucci was able to manipulate and extort inmates by...
State Attorney R.J. Lariza prosecuted the case. The judge R. Lee Smith handed down the life sentence, stating that the crime was particularly criminal and that Aiden showed no mercy.
Then 15-year-old Nehemiah Griego, as he talked with investigators and described ambushing his family inside their South Valley home back in 2013.
Pulled it out, pulled the trigger. Why did you even gun to the face?
He sat emotionless as he recounted shooting his mother and brother first, then his two younger sisters who were asleep in the next room.
I just couldn't sleep. I had a hard time sleeping. So what did you do when you were in your sister's room? You know, I completely turned off my conscience. I really did. You know, I just let the peace come out.
Then he waited for hours until his father got home from work before opening fire.
4 or 5 times.
On January 19, 2013, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 15-year-old Nehemiah Griego did something unthinkable. He killed his entire family, his parents, and 3 younger siblings.
Younger brother Nehemiah Griego shot and killed their parents and 3 little siblings in 2013 at the family's South Valley home because he thought his mom was too strict.
It started late at night when Griego shot his mother, Sarah, while she was sleeping. He then killed his 9-year-old brother Zephaniah and his sisters, 5-year-old Jael and 2-year-old Angelina. Finally, he waited for his father Greg to come home and killed him too. After the killings, Griego spent time at the family's church before eventually telling someone what he had done. The police were called, and Griego was arrested.
Possibility of parole. At the time, he told District Court Judge Alyssa Hart he had changed since that day.
Hearing about me from then, from 15 and 16 to 17, I really don't recognize myself.
Bernalillo County District Attorney Kari Brandenburg prosecuted the case. Because of the severity of the crime, Griego was charged as an adult with 5 counts of murder and 3 counts of child abuse, resulting in death. During the legal process, Griego's behavior was erratic. In court, he sometimes appeared emotionless. At other times, he would cry or show anger. This unpredictable behavior concerned many people involved in the case. Griego initially pleaded not guilty because of insanity. His defense team argued that he had been abused and suffered from mental health issues. However, he later changed his plea to guilty.
This case down from a first degree down to a second degree.
At the Court of Appeals today, the state and defense argued their cases.
The fact that Nehemiah killed his own family reflects just how detached, callous, and brutal he was capable of being.
The state quoting expert opinions from past hearings.
It was a horrible crime. He used more than one gun. 5 people ended up dead. But everyone agreed that he was still rehabilitatable.
But the judges had some questions over...
In 2016, Judge John Romero sentenced Griego to juvenile status, meaning he would be released at age 21. This decision shocked many who thought the crime was too severe for such a light sentence.
With Nehemiah being in segregated confinement for almost a year and a half now, we would like a setting as soon as possible.
Prosecutors and his own family successfully argued he was still a danger and should be resentenced as an adult. Today at the status hearing, the prosecutor asked for more time to get witnesses in order.
However, in 2019, a different judge overturned this decision. Judge Alyssa Hart resentenced Griego as an adult to 30 years in prison. She said that Griego had not been rehabilitated during his time in custody and still posed a danger to society. These shocking cases show how young minds can snap under pressure. Remember, the justice system faces formidable challenges with youth offenders. Like and subscribe for more true crime stories. Stay safe out there.